Rocketmole, Mission to the Moon by Matt Carr. Armstrong the mole was fed up with living underground. It was dark, damp and dirty, and a bit boring. But boring is what moles do, laughed his friend Mona. You see, Armstrong was a star-nosed mole. Instead of digging down, he preferred to look up. He was also a clever and inventive mole. He built himself a telescope and made some glasses so he could look through it. Wow! Armstrong yearned for adventure. One night he tunnelled up to the surface to look at the moon. It was amazing, glowing brightly in the night sky. I need some space. That's it, he said to himself. I'm going to go to the moon. Armstrong called a mole meeting to tell all his friends. Don't be silly, said Doug. We moles stay underground because it's safe down here. Armstrong didn't care about danger. He was a mole on a mission. I'm boldly going where no mole has gone before. But he soon found out that getting a small mammal into orbit wasn't that easy. This is far too short. So near, yet so far. He didn't give up though. To get to the moon, he was going to have to think big. Very big. Armstrong worked day and night until he'd made the biggest rocket any mole had ever built. In fact, it was the only rocket any mole had ever built. Even his friends were impressed as they bravely peeked up above the ground to watch the countdown. It's out of this world. It will be in a minute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Woohoo! The rocket zoomed into space at incredible speed. The journey to the moon was long and dangerous, but floating around in zero gravity was fun, although drinking tea was a bit of a struggle, and the less said about going to the toilet, the better. After a few days, Armstrong reached the moon. He leapt out full of excitement. This is one small step for a man, one giant leap for a mole. Hooray! He'd made it. Armstrong was the first mole on the moon. He felt very proud. He would have patted himself on the back, but his spacesuit was too tight. Armstrong began to explore. He bounced around for a bit, but the novelty soon wore off. The moon was not that different from home. It was dark and cold and a bit boring. There's just no atmosphere. Suddenly Armstrong felt very small. He sat down for a spot of lunch. The world looked so beautiful with its oceans, lands and fluffy clouds. I miss the earth and I miss my friends, he sighed. He tried to eat his dehydrated cheese sandwich, but he couldn't get it past his space helmet. It's time to go home. Armstrong headed back down to earth. Whee! And landed with a bump. He was about to go underground to find his friends when they surprised him. They plucked up the courage and ventured above ground to welcome him home. You're an inspiration to us all. You've shown that if you're brave enough to follow your dreams, anything is possible, said Maggie. It's one giant leap for molekind, chuckled Armstrong. The welcome home party was brilliant, but Armstrong looked glum. I've been to the moon, now I want to see the world, he said. But it's not fun on my own. His friends already felt bigger and braver. Don't worry, we'll come with you, they all cried. We're not boring anymore. Armstrong had a great idea. That's it. If I recycle the rocket, it might just work. And so Armstrong built an amazing underground boring machine and set out on a brand new adventure, this time with all his friends on board. I'm out of here. Let's go. We've got a whole world to explore. Magnificent mole facts. Moles get everywhere, almost. They are found in every continent except Antarctica and South America. Moles live underground most of the time, but they can sense light. Moles love eating earthworms and can eat their body weight in a single day. Moles travel around through tunnels, but they also make bedrooms and kitchens where they store and eat their worms. Star-nosed moles use their strange snout to feel around for food. The moon orbits the Earth roughly once a month. The moon has a huge number of craters which are caused by comets and asteroids crashing into it. The moon affects the tides of the seas and oceans and even helps make waves. The first person on the moon was the American Neil Armstrong on the Apollo 11 mission in 1969.